Welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Report. I'm Jarret Johnson, and first of all, I want to wish everyone a happy Friday. Hope everyone has a good time this weekend. Of course, Texas Tech football, it's their bye week finally, but man, there's a lot going on. Of course, with a coaching search, so I've been posting these, bullet points, updates. I thought I'd do a video one for Friday, just because why not, right? Just mix it up a little bit. I'll go back to those, bullet points of information here very soon. But let's just talk this out here of where I believe Texas Tech is right now in this coaching search, which is now a couple weeks into it almost. So it's the Wild West out here because the season is still going on. But let's dive into some stuff here. I think so. Where are we right now? Of course, Texas Tech went after Jeff Traylor, the UTSA coach, really hard, and then he signed an extension with UTSA. I believe his buyout for right now, if Tech were to continue pursuing him, then it would be $7.5 million. Now, I think for that reason, most people have said, okay, well, he's off the table, and I just want to say I don't know that that's the case. I don't know that how viable it is. I mean, $7.5 million is still a pretty good amount of money, but there are some big money donors that are a big part of this search with Desi Womble and Cody Campbell. And I think if Texas Tech, the search committee, decided, hey, this is the guy we want, and more importantly, if Jeff Traylor went all in, if he changed his mind, then, I just don't know that it's all over. That's all I'm saying. I just don't... He's staying on my hot board. Let's put it that way. Now he may have fallen down from the top spot, several spots, but I just don't think that it's completely done yet with Jeff Traylor. So keep an eye on that. But I think the guy that everyone's talking about, the guy that everyone's talking about right now is Joey Mcguire, the assistant coach of Baylor, and he's a guy. I talked about this on the radio and on Inside the Red Raiders on the board. He's a guy that I actually interacted with some way back in the day when he was at Cedar Hill doing his thing, and I was at the Fort Worth Star Telegram. He would help out, with a lot of things, like, for example, the math and some of these playoff scenarios. Those of you who have been watching this or been on Inside the Red Raiders for a while know how challenged I am mathematically. Basic math, addition, multiplication, subtraction, division. Man, I'm round the world king. But beyond that, so some of the percentages and stuff with the playoff scenarios of high school football get pretty crazy, and I just remember Joey Mcguire helping me out a whole lot with that and those playoff scenarios. And he was just a personable guy, a well-liked guy. He was the head of the Texas High School Coaches Association. He was the president of that for a while. I believe he was inducted in 2020 in the Hall of Honor for that. And so he's well-connected, well-liked. I haven't ever heard anybody say a bad thing about him, to be honest. He took a Cedar Hill program that wasn't that big a deal and made it a monster. He won 3 state titles at one of the highest classifications in Texas high school football. So the guy knows how to win. He's a winner. He's done a good job recruiting at Baylor, obviously with those ties. He's kind of gone up the ladder, and I'm kind of surprised he hadn't already taken some kind of head coaching gig. I think the sense I get is that Joey Mcguire is waiting for the right fit, and I believe Texas Tech is it for him, assuming the negotiation, the talks are going the way he wants, and that Texas Tech is happy with what they're offering him. His daughter went to Texas Tech, so he gets the deal out here in West Texas, and in Lubbock and at Texas Tech, so that's good. So I mean, he checks a lot of boxes other than having experience at the collegiate head coaching level. So that is something that is a question, and then you got to wonder how he would fill out his staff. I think he could do a good job with that. But that is a question. But then, so one of the questions I get, speaking of questions from people on the site, on Inside the Red Raiders, is, I thought this was going to be some wide-ranging search. Why are they only, talking to a narrow group of guys, just a small group of guys? Well, that's not the case. So they actually are talking to and analyzing and breaking down a pretty wide swath of guys. And I think they have their main targets. And then, of course, us media folks fascinate on, and focus on a couple. But Don Williams of the Lubbock Avalanche Journal actually wrote an article here earlier this week saying, at least quoting or reporting somebody that they've analyzed or broken down 20 candidates, and it's a nationwide deal. And I actually talked to a couple of people, one very close to the situation, and then one is a colleague of mine I trust very, very much, who also has been gathering information via his sources. And here are some names to also consider that Texas Tech is considering. Alex Grinch, Oklahoma's defensive coordinator. He hasn't, like this year, Oklahoma's defense isn't all that great, but he has a history, going back to Washington State, of being a good defensive coordinator, and he's very well liked. I got to look at this because there's several names, and I can only store so much information up here. Brent Venables, which I was kind of surprised. I mean, I know he's really good friends with Kirby Hoka, but I thought he pretty much shot Kirby down the first time. I guess, they're just making him tell him no again. Jeff Levy, Gus Malzahn, I think that's really was a surprising one because I just don't feel like there's a really good chance of that. But again, I was told that that Tech was going to make him tell them no. So I expect him to. Kendall Briles, Billy Napier, we've talked about him before. Barry Odom, he wasn't very successful at Missouri, but he's done a pretty good job as a defensive coordinator. So, and then Anthony Lynn, of course, former Red Raider, been a head coach in the NFL. He's an assistant coach with the Detroit Lions right now. So that's an interesting name, but I totally understand why they would, at least go check it out and talk to him. And I don't know that they have yet. I just know that he's on the list of guys that they're monitoring. So a lot going on. Things are changing constantly, but I think the main thing, if you want to get a handle on what's going on out there, I just feel like, yes, Leach and Briles, they're improbable, but could it happen? Sure. But Traylor not totally off the board, though obviously things are more difficult now. Joey Mcguire, seen as the primary target, but then there are several other coordinators and assistant coaches around the country that Texas Tech is monitoring, interviewing, and considering. So I don't, could this be over this weekend and Joey Mcguire is your coach? Sure. But I wouldn't be surprised either way. I mean, these coaching changes, and especially in-season coaching changes, are really just different. So we're going to stay on it. Stay tuned to Inside the Red Raiders. We're going to continue to have content throughout the coaching search. And then, of course, after it, all kind of analysis breaking down what it means for recruiting, what it means for the team, what kind of personnel, how they're going to be targeting, and then how they're going to fill out their staff. So we're really just getting started with this no matter what. So stay with Inside the Red Raiders. Thank you for watching, and until next time.